For centuries, we have been told that science and faith are enemies. We've been told that you either believe in the tangible, measurable world of biology, or you believe in the invisible, mystical power of the spirit. We've been told these two worlds do not touch. But that is wrong. Right now, inside your skull, there is a biological event happening that bridges that gap. It turns out that the ancient practice of prayer, whether it's a whispered plea in a moment of crisis or a disciplined daily ritual, isn't just a spiritual exercise. It is a biological event. It is a physical mechanic that alters the very architecture of your brain. We used to think the benefits of prayer, that feeling of peace, that sudden clarity, were purely psychological, a placebo effect of the mind. But thanks to a new and controversial field called neurotheology, we now have the data to prove otherwise. We can look at a brain scan and see exactly what happens when a human connects with the divine. And what we are seeing is that prayer is, effectively, a high-intensity workout for your neural pathways. Today, we are going deep into the gray matter. We are going to look at how this spiritual technology physically rewires your stress response, how it shuts down the part of your brain that creates your ego, and how as little as 12 minutes a day can fundamentally change who you are. This is the neuroscience of faith. To understand this, you have to understand the most important discovery in modern neuroscience: neuroplasticity. For a long time, scientists thought the adult brain was static, that once you hit a certain age, your hardware was set in stone. You had what you had. But that is false. Your brain is not a statue. It is a river. It is constantly changing, flowing, and reshaping itself based on what you do and what you think. Every time you repeat a thought, you are strengthening a synaptic connection. You are building a bridge. If you worry constantly, you are building a superhighway for anxiety. If you practice gratitude, you are paving a road for optimism. The neurons that fire together, wire together. This is where Dr. Andrew Newberg comes in. He is the director of research at the Marcus Institute of Integrative Health, and he has spent decades putting nuns, monks, and spiritual practitioners inside MRI machines. His goal? To map the God circuit in the human brain. His research confirms that prayer is not a passive act. It is a targeted brain-building exercise. When you engage in deep, focused prayer, you are isolating specific neural circuits and pumping iron. You are thickening the gray matter in your frontal lobes, the CEO of your brain. And you are starving the circuits that cause fear and anger. Let's talk about that fear. Because if you are living in the modern world, you are likely living in a state of chronic, low-grade emergency. We all have a structure deep in our brain called the amygdala. This is your ancient alarm system. It's the part of you that spots a predator in the bushes and screams, "Run!" It triggers the fight or flight response, flooding your veins with cortisol and adrenaline. The problem is, your amygdala can't tell the difference between a tiger trying to eat you and an angry email from your boss. So for many of us, that alarm is ringing all day long. This is what anxiety is. It is an amygdala that is stuck in the on position. This is where the biology of prayer becomes a literal antidote. Brain imaging studies show that consistent prayer and meditation have a direct dampening effect on the amygdala. When you enter a state of prayer, you are sending a biological all-clear signal to your nervous system. You are engaging the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode. Your heart rate drops. Your blood pressure stabilizes, your breathing slows, but it goes deeper than just relaxation. While prayer quiets the fear center, it simultaneously hyperactivates the prefrontal cortex. This is the area right behind your forehead. It governs focus, logic, and emotional regulation. Dr. Newberg's scans show that when you are in deep prayer, this area lights up like a Christmas tree. By strengthening this area, you aren't just feeling better in the moment. You are training your brain to handle future stress better. You are building a neurological shield against anxiety. You are literally rewiring your hardware to be calmer. But there is a second, even more profound change that happens in the brain during deep prayer. And it explains why spiritual people often talk about oneness or losing themselves. There is a part of your brain called the parietal lobe. Its job is to orient you in space. It draws the line between you and not you. It tells you where your physical body ends and the rest of the room begins. It is the seat of the self. In Dr. Newberg's most fascinating experiments, he found that during moments of intense prayer or deep meditation, activity in the parietal lobe creates a blackout. It goes dark. It shuts down. When this area quiets down, your brain physically loses the ability to distinguish between you and the universe. The boundary of the ego dissolves. This is why people report feelings of transcendence, of being connected to God, or being one with humanity. It isn't just a poetic metaphor. It is a biological reality caused by the deactivation of the parietal lobe. This is the neurological basis for compassion. When the self is quiet, the barriers between us and others disappear. This is why prayer is often linked to increased empathy. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room. We know prayer changes the brain of the person praying, but does it change the person being prayed for? This is where science hits a wall. This is the controversy of intercessory prayer. In 2006, there was a massive study known as the STEP Project, the study of the therapeutic effects of intercessory prayer. They looked at 1,802 patients undergoing heart bypass surgery. They split them into 3 groups. Group A was prayed for, but didn't know it. Group B was not prayed for, and Group C was prayed for and told they were being prayed for. The results shocked everyone. Between the group that was secretly prayed for and the group that wasn't, there was 0 difference in recovery rates. None. But the third group, the ones who knew they were being prayed for, actually had a higher rate of complications. 59% compared to 52%. Why? The researchers theorized it was performance anxiety. If a patient heard that a whole prayer team was working on them, they thought, "My God, am I that sick? Is it that hopeless?" The stress of the expectation actually made them worse. Skeptics looked at this and said, "See, prayer doesn't work." But that misses the point entirely. While we cannot scientifically prove that prayer magically heals a heart condition from 3 states away, we can prove what intercessory prayer does to the person praying. When you pray for someone else, you are deliberately activating your brain's empathy circuits. You are training your mind to focus on the well-being of another. This increases your capacity for forgiveness. It reduces your own narcissism, and it strengthens your social connection bonds. The miracle of intercessory prayer may not be that it changes the outcome of the surgery, but that it transforms the person praying into a more compassionate, loving, and supportive human being. And that, in turn, creates a better world for the sick person to recover in. So how do you actually do this? How do you access this neurological hardware? The research suggests it's not about just one type of prayer. Different flavors of prayer activate different parts of the brain. First, you have gratitude. This is the dopamine trigger. When you focus on what you are thankful for, you physically cannot maintain a state of envy or anger. The brain circuits are incompatible. Gratitude boosts serotonin and dopamine, the neurotransmitters of well-being. Second, you have contemplative prayer. This is the silence. This creates the quieting of the parietal lobe we talked about. It shuts down the default mode network, the part of your brain that obsesses over the past and worries about the future. Third, you have repetitive prayer. Things like the rosary or mantras. The repetition focuses the mind, clearing out the noise, and has been shown to synchronize the hemispheres of the brain. But here is the most important data point of all. Dosage. You do not need to be a monk living in a cave to get these benefits. The research, championed by experts like Dr. Caroline Leaf, points to a specific number: 12 minutes. Just 12 minutes of focused daily prayer, sustained over 8 weeks, is enough to create measurable, structural changes in the brain. That is the threshold. So here is the challenge. We call it the 12-minute protocol. For the next 7 days, I want you to run an experiment on your own biology. Set a timer for 12 minutes. Not 10, not 5. 12. Spend that time in the prayer of your choice. Speak to God, sit in silence, or list the things you are grateful for. Do not check your phone. Do not multitask. Just be. Treat this as a workout for your mind, because that is exactly what it is. At the end of the week, I want you to come back to this video. Go to the comments section and tell us what happened. Did your anxiety drop? Did you feel that quieting of the self? Did the world look a little different? Your brain is designed to connect with the divine. The hardware is there. The circuits are waiting. You just have to flip the switch. If you want to keep exploring the intersection of the mind, the soul, and the science of how we work, hit that subscribe button. We are just getting started.